Nation, what is going on? Day one of free agency, or should I say the legal tampering day one period, whatever that difference is. Everyone's agreeing to contracts. All the biggest names will be agreeing to contracts over the next few days, of course, until they can officially sign them. And we're, of course, going to get to Jan. That's the big name so far for Raider Nation. We're all pumped on that. Ever since, who we'll try not to talk about, number 52 we used to have. Ever since that, we've been in search of that pass rusher. Max Crosby comes in. He fills that void for us, comes in and really surprises us all. What's up, chat? How's it going, Adrian? I see ya. It's good to see you guys back, too. It's been like 3 months, so sorry if there's technical difficulties, because I can almost promise there's going to be some. But I see the chat going crazy. Obviously, Raider Nation is completely fired up. Yannick Ngakoue, that is a huge way to, kind of make a splash in day one. And we're not going to be done yet. We're going to be looking at a lot of different guys, but I'm very relieved by the fact of, after waking up this morning and seeing Donald Penn visiting the Raiders headquarters, which it ended up being cool, but I was very, what are we doing? And you guys know how it is, Raider Nation. This reputation that we've built, I guess, a little bit, or, this growing joke of John Gruden loving old guys, and you just never know. I didn't know what to believe. I'm thinking in my mind, there's no way that we're signing him to play, because that'd be very concerning at his age. What was he going to be, 38 or something like that? And at least he came in, and signed his one-day contract, retired a Raider. That was great. Why he picked today to do it of all days? Is he just a troll? Because if that was a troll, good work. Donald Penn, that was amazing. All of Raider Nation was definitely worried. My Traeger's doing okay. Thanks for asking. I figured out, for all my barbecue people out there, I know you're not here to talk about barbecue. My Traeger, I tried a new kind of pellets. It was infused with charcoal, and it seemed like it got wedged in the auger, and then I had a temperature drop, so it spit a bunch of pellets out, and I wish I could pull up the photo for you guys. It was blowing flames out the side because it pellet overloaded. Anyway, so I see the chat going crazy. Ivan the Great, what's going on? One of my moderators. Who's a player y'all would like to sign next? Drop in the chat. Talk about who you guys want to sign. I see AJ Green going through there. What do you guys think about Juju Smith-Schuster? Drop in the chat right now. If you have another name, do that. I want to hear a yes to Juju, no to Juju, because he's one player that I think, with Nelson Aguilar going and playing in New England for too much money, that, I wouldn't be super comfortable paying that. If we did pay him that and he came back, I'd be happy, right? But that's not the number that I'd tag to him. I'd want to keep it in the single digits. I'd want that 8, 9, maybe 10 million per year. Getting up there in that 12, 13 range, that's a little too much, I think, in my opinion, for a guy that, really, we see Derek Carr do this with many guys over and over again. Bring in another capable receiver like a Juju Smith-Schuster or a Corey Davis or anybody. I think Derek Carr can make work of a veteran and connect with him really well and be just fine. I see 509 Raider. Shout out to 509 Raider. Anthony Harris. I love the Anthony Harris option. Of course, right now, my mind, with Nelson Aguilar being gone, now we're looking at receivers, because that was one of those 50-50 toss-up. Maybe he comes back. We don't have to worry about receiver at all. Now I feel like we do. I'm still focused on free safety. We need a center fielder. We need to not just find a guy that can pick off the ball, but we need to find a guy that's perfect to pair with Jonathan Abram and let Jonathan Abram be his little hybrid linebacker safety self, whatever he does, right? Let him get up in there. Man, I'm talking with my hands a lot today. I got the fingers a waving. I like Kenny Galladay. Kenny Galladay had some injury issues, but I think Kenny Galladay would be a great signing. I do want to give a quick shout out to Raiders.swap on Instagram. That's where the thumbnail came from of Yannick Ngakoue jersey swap. You can follow them on Instagram. Seems like they do a lot of jersey swaps. So Yannick Ngakoue comes in with a little bit of a shocker. There's a lot of names out there that I was trying to pin the Raiders to. Yannick Ngakoue was one of those that really came out of left field and was a very pleasant surprise. You know what I mean? It was one of those where you didn't expect the team to go get him, but we did. In 5 years, 288 quarterback pressures, 47 sacks, 18 forced fumbles. 18 forced fumbles by Yannick Ngakoue in that 5-year span. In that 5-year span, that is the second most behind the one and only Khalil Mack, and that's okay. We can have the second best option there. We can deal with that. Turnovers. That's what we need to create, and not just intercepting the ball, not just picking it off. Turnovers, full-blown turnovers. So, forced fumbles. Yannick Ngakoue being a game breaker. Unfortunately, I was there for the last game in Oakland against the Jaguars. Yannick played a huge part in shutting down that last drive for us. Got by Colton Miller on a big play. I think I saw Vinny Bonsignor share a video of that. Or somebody did. One of the Raiders beat writers. Sorry if I wasn't you, Vinny. So he came as like a 3rd and 18, beat Colton Miller for a sack on one of the last drives. So I see, in the chat, keep the comments coming. I'm trying to keep up with you guys because there's so much going on in free agency. I got to remind myself anyways. I'm doing this off the fly. So how much will Trent Williams cost? In my opinion, don't even consider Trent Williams because Trent Williams is dead set on playing left tackle. And unless for whatever reason we try and alter things and make Colton Miller play right tackle, which I don't think is going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen. So Colton Miller is going to be our left tackle for a long time, hopefully a very long time. And Trent Williams obviously isn't going to be willing to make that move. Patrick Peterson, I see in the chat. Patrick Peterson is a guy that I'd love to be able to, I'm not going to say it's hard because I keep wanting to compare these corner to safety moves to Charles Woodson. I don't think anybody's going to be as successful at that move as Charles Woodson was. But Patrick Peterson, I think, has that same ability as Charles Woodson. Punt returner, could kind of play both sides of the ball. He's just an all-around football player. And obviously being a big defensive guy, I think he'd have the knowledge and the talent to be able to move back and still play safety, as well as Richard Sherman. So maybe drop in the chat. I want to hear, if you had to choose between Peterson and Sherman, drop them. Peterson or Sherman. Of course, I'm sure there's going to be those people that pop in with another name. That's fine. Throw in your options that you want to see at safety. Grizz. What's going on, Grizz? Grizz in the chat. Maybe Kyle Long plays right tackle. Bring back Denzel Good. I like that option, but I don't like that option. Now, see, I think he has the ability to play both. And I was just talking about this on Raider Homer's show. I just went live. If you guys want to search Raider Homer, you can subscribe to his YouTube channel. I just got off there and hopped on here. Two-timing you guys. So I like Kyle Long more at guard because his recent injury history, I mean, how many years has it been since he's played more than 10 games? Whatever that was. I knew it was an absurd number. I don't know that I would like him to be our option, our only option besides Brandon Parker to go in and be the right tackle for this offensive line. That's my only concern. If he can stay healthy, cool. Do we have any proof that that's going to happen? No. Hopefully that year off, or has it been a year off? I think it's just 1 year off, gives him that rest, and maybe he can be that. I, for one, obviously like it just because of that jersey. It's perfect. I mean, you're going to have even more of an option or more of a reason to wear your Howie Long jersey. But we're talking about Yannick, and we're getting all straight away. Keep going, chat. Keep it going. I want to get sidetracked. I want to talk about all the options right now, day one of free agency. Anyway, everyone listening to the post-produced podcast, make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel too, so you can catch things live whenever they happen, because we're going to start doing more live shows as the off-season heats up. Maybe we'll do another one this weekend to wrap up all of free agency. I saw Melvin Ingram at some point in the chat. I think Melvin Ingram is a very strong option. I think it's, I'm not going to say, everybody, he's been linked to the Raiders for months. It's almost the most surefire signing that's come up. But now when you're looking at Max Crosby, Cleveland Farrell, Yannick Ngakoue, where does Melvin Ingram fit in? He's not a starter. Does he accept the fact that he's just going to be a role player? Because if so, bring him in. That's perfect. Let him rotate in. Because I see our defensive line rotating in. I mean, Yannick is going to be kind of that weird piece where you don't exactly know where to push him. But I see early downs being Max and Yannick with maybe Klee getting pushed to the inside. Or maybe that's on later downs. You know, it's going to be hard to see who starts and who doesn't out of those three. And I think that's just going to solely depend on who we're playing, who we're schemed to play, and how many guys we want up front. Maybe we overload the box. Maybe we throw all three of them in there a lot. Or maybe we just have a strong rotation of 2 out of the 3 going through there, and we got fresh legs no matter who it is of the 3. Man. So how's the chat going? Haha, Clinton Dix. That's maybe last case scenario for free safety. I would like to sign Haha. The name is funny to me. I'd like to sign Haha, but it's not priority in my opinion. That's a guy that maybe we sign in 3 or 4 days if there's nothing else there for us. We talked about Nelson Aguilar, Juju Smith-Schuster. Who else do we have at wide receiver? Drop in the chat. I want to hear names. There's going to be A.J. Green, Corey Davis's. Drop in there. Who do you want? We still have Samuel, Curtis Samuel. Is he still a free agent? He's still out there. We have a lot of options. We had John Johnson get picked off, and he ended up going for $11 million per year, something around that area. Catching up in the chat here. See if I can keep reading. So he went for like $11 million per year, I believe. Not much. I feel like it set the safety market pretty low. So I think the rest of the safeties are going to get signed pretty late. Wide receivers, I think, are going to start getting picked off the board about the same time. Emmanuel Sanders, I like that. Emmanuel Sanders is a guy that can get in there. He's kind of injury prone too, but has talent, has a little wisdom, and is very competitive. So that's what I really like. John Brown, Will Fuller, T.Y. Hilton, Kenny Golladay. I'm a big Kenny Golladay guy. You throw the ball up, and it's amazing. All these other pass rushers are getting more than Yannick. Diego Lopez. Shout out. What's up, Diego? It's been a long time since I've seen you in the chat. Yeah, I think we got Yannick on a good deal, and I think that's just because of the question marks that are up in the air, especially him being on like 3 teams in less than a year span or whatever that is. And I don't think that's a huge red flag if he can come in and settle in, but also you never know what the Raiders organization is going to do for a player. They can do really good for him, like what they've done for some, lost souls of the NFL, like, the Michael Crabtrees or even like the Nelson Aguilars. Maybe they didn't stay for very long, but I felt like it was a good home for them. They came in and made a little name for themselves and was good for them. Or it could be the Browns. Not the Browns the team, the Browns the last name. So how about no wide receivers? And we see what Brian Edwards does healthy. Now, I like that option, and I like the notion that our wide receivers are going to step up. And pretty soon I'm going to get Kenny King here on the phone, and we're going to talk about this a little bit more. But I like the idea that our rookie wide receivers or second-year wide receivers step up and play, but we don't want that to be our only option. So let's take this quick break and see if we can get Kenny King Jr. on the phone, or if he's see if he's around. Kenny King Jr., you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. So we're live on YouTube, as you should know. Sounds like you are walking around, and that's completely okay because it's super last minute. Kenny King Jr., can I get a yan? What's going on, Raider Nation, huh?
Bro, finally, Raiders making a splash today, and it's huge, right? You guys wanted him, you got him. Yannick Ngakoue is now a Raider, and let's talk about it. Let's hear about it. Raider Nation, I know you guys are fired up. I'm fired up, and looks like he's going to be a backup to Cleveland Farrell.
You know what, dude? We have. I don't even under. He's got a lot. I think he's got some paying back to do, because we were both there for that final game against Jacksonville, last game in Oakland, and he kind of rained on our parade a little bit. And I don't want to say I don't appreciate that, because it's hard to not appreciate good football, but I think he needs to bring that same energy over here now for the silver and black and carry this team into the playoffs, man.
I think it's huge, man. You know, he was chirping a lot in that last game He was talking a lot. Everybody's seen the clips. Everybody's heard the sound bites. I think it brings a lot of competitiveness to the team. I think it brings the competition to the defensive line. I think it brings that competition to the offense as well. I think, he's a guy that's going to get out there and chirp, and he's a guy that's going to chirp with the offensive line. He's going to chirp with Derek Carr. He's going to chirp with whoever's out there, and he's going to chirp to whoever wants to hear it. And that's what the Raiders need. They need some guys that are going to go out there, run their mouths, but also back it up on the field. Now, you could talk a big game. We know that he backs it up. He had 8 sacks last season. He's been, lights out. He's been averaging, I believe he averages 8 sacks a year. He's definitely going to bring that intensity to the defense, but he also leads in the locker room. He leads in the hits. He's a guy that you want on your defense.
Yeah. LC Raider, what's going on, man? I see you in the chat. Shout out to Stage Door Casino. We'll be visiting Stage Door Casino for the draft, so make sure you guys are stay tuned for that. And Kenny King, you're going to be traveling there with me as well, huh?
Oh, yes, sir. We'll be popping bottles like it's the 4th of July.
Hey, Samoan Raiders live as well, too. That's awesome. If you guys want to pop over, you can check him out, too. There's a lot of love to go around here for Raiders content. We're gonna be live here just for a few more minutes, and make sure you go check out Samoan Raider afterwards. Man. Pat McAfee coming after you, Cody. I see that in the chat. 805 Raider.
Hey, Pat McAfee has to come through me first.
I think it's funny, though. He did say that he wasn't going to give any more coverage to the Raiders, and then like 2 days ago he was talking about the Raiders. But anyways, that's...
How's he feeling about Carson Wentz now that he completely did a 180 on that anyways? But, I'm not gonna get on Pat. We're focusing on Yannick right now. We have bigger and better things to talk about than a punter who's not in the league anymore.
They can't even make it in semi-pro wrestling. Man, Kenny King Jr. CJ says to tell Kenny, fight my dog. That's you don't fight.
I might have to fight CJ if we sign Juju, man.
Hey, so CJ, I got a question about Juju. And I feel like right now, without Nelson Agholor, I feel like you could peg him at the top of the John Gruden board. That doesn't necessarily mean that the interest is going to be 100% mutual and the signing's not going to happen or will happen, whatever. John Gruden, I think, has him there, and I think he's interested, as well as I'm sure, the Kenny Gallaudays and the A.J. Greens and, there's many – the Curtis Samuel. There's many wide receiver options out there if you want a veteran. Emmanuel Sanders, whatever you want. I feel like Juju's there. My question for you is, Kenny King, who's going to be the first Raider teammate to collaborate on a TikTok video with him?
First Raider player to collaborate on TikTok video. I would say it would either have to be Arnett or Abram.
Ooh,
I mean,
I could see Abram.
I could see Abram. I think it would be Abram more than anything, but I could see that Abram and Juju collaboration.
Yeah, Arnett might be trying to plug his one of his rap albums or something, maybe with a TikTok video or something.
Maybe they're putting the music in the background. Who knows? Maybe it's a 3-way collab.
How much does Juju cost? $15 million per? I would say maybe. I mean, it's going to be. I would say just a hair more than Nelson Agholor, and I feel like that was maybe the difference maker of this. Was that was so much money, he's going to get paid like one of the top free agents, and in my opinion, overpaid just because he tested free agency, and Nelson knew he was going to do that, and that was the only reason he wanted to sign back with the Raiders. Absolutely wanted to be back with the Raiders. That wasn't his deal. It was kind of just, I think, even like the Khalil Mack situation or some of these other guys that have left. I don't think there's any ill feeling with Nelson Agholor, and I definitely don't think that he was thinking that he was going to go, his stats are going to be any better with Cam Newton than Derek Carr. I mean, I think he had a career year, and unless New England does something different with their quarterback situation in the next couple of years, I see his stats dropping off. So I think he was just looking to maybe just cash out now before anything else happened. And I mean, he had a heck of a year. He earned it, in my opinion.
He did earn it.
Yeah, but
he parlayed it well. And to use Vegas terms, he parlayed it well. He bet on himself. He won big. He rolled the dice and he came up huge. But I mean, I think that, had he stayed with the Raiders, it probably would have been better for him stats wise, maybe potentially, who knows what the Patriots are going to do. We see teams every so often, they'll spend a ton of money in free agency and they have nothing to show for it. Now, obviously, the Patriots have a track record. Bill Belichick has a system, and his system has worked. But that system is also around, Tom Brady, and maybe that system was Tom Brady. Who knows? We'll find out this year.
Mm-hmm.
But we've seen teams do it. We saw the 2011 Eagles do it. We saw Jacksonville do it a few years ago. And CJ, I know you can talk to that because you're one of the writers for that. But we've seen teams overspend and get nothing in return for it. So I don't want to wish him bad. I don't want to wish him, to say you're going to have a horrible career. But I'm curious to see what his stats look like this year going into New England. And he's going to have high expectations. He's got this big contract. He's coming off a career year. He's got high expectations. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out.
Yeah. Curtis, I see a lot of Curtis Samuel in the chat. I like the idea of that.
I like Curtis Samuel. I almost like Galladay a little bit more, though. I
like Galladay for what we need. You know what I mean? I feel like he's kind of that. It's almost like if Henry Ruggs and Brian Edwards had a baby, it'd be Kenny Galladay.
Yep. Exactly. We need that physical receiver. And, I'm high on Brian Edwards. I've been high on Brian Edwards since we drafted him. I want to see more of Brian Edwards this summer. I want to see more of Henry Ruggs this summer. I want to see what their workouts look like. I want to see how they look in camp. I want to see them stay healthy. I think these guys are going to do well in the system. I think these guys are going to do well in the league. I think these guys are going to do well this coming up season. But at the same time, I want a veteran receiver that's going to push them as well. I want a guy like Galladay. I want a guy. Hell, look, Juju's weird. He's crazy. But at the end of the day, the guy produces. And he's coming from a good team. And now, obviously, we've had some guys from that team. It's a little bit different. So, obviously, we had a nutcase that burned his feet. We had the White Tiger. This is a guy who doesn't have as many character flaws, many character issues. He hasn't been suspended for stupid things. Yeah. This is a guy who's a young player. He does, he has fun on TikTok. He does, weird things. He's basically Marquette King as a receiver, but Juju may be an option.
I do like Juju just being the all-around receiver that he is. He's not like the typical superstar that you think of that's just out there catching phenomenal receptions and being able to just be a physical freak, which he kind of is, but he's just, not like you're not signing like a Calvin Johnson or you're not signing some Tyreek Hill. You're signing a guy that is just kind of a raw football player, but is built and most suitable to be a wide receiver and can kind of just do it all. And he works hard. Besides the TikTok videos, I don't really have any complaints about him. And shout out real quick, too, to Shane Morris in the chat. I see you there. Appreciate the donation. Have to pay less. He says, have to pay less for another wide receiver. DB is more of a need. John can production from our guys. I think typo. I think saying that.
Sherman.
I think he's saying that, John can produce. Obviously, we arguable, but points-wise, we were a top 10 offense in the NFL. Scoring. Top 10. Yeah. In my opinion, that's number one tool for finding out who was the best and worst offense, and that's by scoring, and we were 10th. Top 10. Do we take a small hit to that? Possibly. Could we still improve? Yes, it doesn't matter. Our young guys could step up. Henry Ruggs can stay a little bit more healthy. Brian Edwards, the same thing, and they can make a step forward and do better. And maybe our offensive line gets adapted more, and the run game doesn't fall off at the end of the year, and we're able to just take this offense still to the next level, even without a Nelson Aguilar, because really besides that, we're not missing a whole lot else. Trent Brown wasn't hardly ever there. Our offensive guards were always hurt. That was kind of a carousel. So I think the recipe's still there to be successful because, Derek Carr to Darren Waller, Josh Jacobs out of the backfield. What else do you really need while we still have growing weapons and young guys on the outside? I don't know. I don't know where I was going with this, but I do. If you had to pick, I guess one DB right now, I already know what you're going to say. If you had to pick one DB for the Raiders to sign, that's how we're going to wrap this up because that's what I have my focus on. If you had to pick one DB for the Raiders to sign, safety or corner or both, hybrid, who would you pick and why?
For me, and I know that this isn't the sexy pick. I know that people are going to, groan and moan and bitch about it, but it's Richard Sherman. I think that what Richard Sherman brings to the defense, what he brings to that locker room, what he brings to the DB room is exactly what they need. They need a guy that's going to get in Jonathan Abrams' face. They need a guy that's going to get in Damon Arnett's face, a guy that's going to get in Trayvon Mullen's face, a guy that's going to get in front of the locker room. And if you're messing up, he's going to make you be accountable. He's going to hold everybody accountable in games. He's going to put people in their position. He's going to fly around, and he's that leader on the field. He's also a guy that probably knows Gus Bradley's system better than Gus Bradley. And quite frankly, that's what we need. We need somebody who's going to go out there, who's going to hold people accountable, who's going to make plays, and who's going to be a ball hawk. And I think that Richard Sherman you put him at safety, I think he's a great opportunity to play safety.
Shout out to 509 Raider. He brings up Hooker to sell some jerseys. Like I was saying, could you imagine a Hooker jersey being sold in Las Vegas? Like you could to make Las Vegas fans or Las Vegas residents, and I'm not judging Las Vegas residents necessarily, but if you're on the Strip and you see a Raider jersey that has Hooker on the back of it, those people are going to buy that jersey. You're walking down the Strip. What better Raider jersey do you need walking down the Strip that is totally Las Vegas? I hate to give it that reputation, but hey, it's there. I'm just using it.
Just use it.
Just use it. For me, I'm actually personally Patrick Peterson. I like the ability to he's got to be number 69. That's messed up. So luckily they can't, because that'd be a really terrible jersey. So I'm okay. Ivan the Great, I'm with you too. I'd go with Patrick Peterson over Sherman, moving to safety, I guess. I'm kind of at a draw, but if I had to pick, just because I think we talked about this on your podcast, Kenny King, and for those listening now or watching and haven't subscribed to Kenny King's podcast or his YouTube channel, search Kenny King Jr. on YouTube, or you can search the Training Table podcast on all your podcast platforms. If you had to pick a style of player to make a position change, it's going to be a guy that is kind of notoriously been able to do it all, and I feel like that was really Patrick Peterson. So we got two sides of a coin here, Kenny King, and I feel like we're flipping it, and hopefully we land with one of the two, and I'm going to be happy completely.
Either way, I'd be happy.
Yeah.
Either way, I'd be happy.
Good stuff. So day one, success?
Day one is a success. Obviously it started out kind of as a lull. People got nervous with Donald Penn in the building, but day one was a success. You got a big splash with Yannick. Excited to see what happens on day two. Buckle up, guys.
Yeah, shout out to East LAJ. Appreciate the donation. Not sure the comment, but I'm sure it was Raiders. Give me some, Raider Nation. We're making a little splash. I got some room to work with still, and we're gonna see what we can deal with. We got some more in store. So, Raider Nation, Kenny King Jr., appreciate you for coming on again with me. And we're going to close this thing out. Maybe we'll do another live stream at the end of the week, wrap up all of free agency. Are you in?
Let's get it.
Cool. Peace out, Raider Nation.
All right, brother.